to our final segment of the evening. We have the
Drum roll,
week
please.
four Pickems. All right. So obviously
Master Pickems.
that goes to Spence. But the season goes on, fellas. Trayy is currently leading
Okay.
3-0.
Okay. Well, no,
Everybody,
it's technically 2 and I guess a tie, but I mean,
yeah, you know.
if you,
So
yeah,
he's
but
he's currently up 2 games to me. And Spence, unfortunately, he hasn't had one win yet, or been on the winning side to say, but it's okay. It's only week 4, so there's time to change that. So
more the same, big dog. More the same. Also,
everybody,
I'm here all year. Don't worry.
everybody is still undefeated so far this week, with the Bengals again defeating the Jags. So now we start off with the games for Sunday morning, well, afternoon at that time. So we got the Panthers facing off against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cleveland Browns face off in Minnesota. Detroit faces the Chicago Bears, 0-3 Detroit versus the Chicago Bears 1-2. Houston Texans at 1-2 at Buffalo 2-1. Colts 0-3 versus the Dolphins at 1-2. Chiefs
right now. That's
cool. Chiefs at 1-2 at Philly at 1-2. Who would have thought? And it's more so towards the Chiefs being 1-2. 0-3 Giants face off. What was that?
I would say I would have thought for Philly.
Oh yeah, for sure. 0-3 Giants versus the 2-1 Saints. Disappointing for the Giants for sure. 2-1 Titans versus the 0-3 Jets. Then you got the Washington football team at 1-2, getting ready to go on a streak versus the 1-2 ATL Falcons.
The 12-5 Washington football team, huh?
Yeah, getting ready to turn the tide.
Got 3 left.
The undefeated, 2 teams that are undefeated in the NFC West. You got the Arizona Cardinals at 3-0, facing off against the Los Angeles Rams at 3-0. Probably game of the week, fellas. I would think.
The Goliaths.
Well, actually, probably one of, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one of.
Not all of undefeated. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks at 1-2, facing off against the 2-1 49ers. Then you got the other game, in my opinion, is another game for game of the week, but it's not the game of the week. It's the Baltimore Ravens at 2-1 versus the Denver Broncos at 3-0.
Another
you have weird selection of games in the week.
Then you have the 1-2 Pittsburgh Steelers versus the 2-1 Green Bay Packers. Then you got the game that everybody's been talking about. It's not really game of the week, but it's the game that everybody's talking about. The 2-1 Buccaneers face off in New England, which Tom Brady's first game playing against his former team, the 1-2 New England Patriots. Let's see. Then you got the 3-0 Las Vegas Raiders versus the 2-1 Los Angeles Chargers.
The Chargers.
Another good game right there. Some may argue that might be game of the week. But with that being said, fellas, we have the Panthers versus the Cowboys. Excuse my language. Who do y'all have in winning this one? We'll start off with Trayy, since you are the one that's actually Trayy. We'll save you for last. Spence, since you've been on the cold streak right
struggling,
now.
but right, we ain't struggling. I got you. Well, this one I'm probably going to be against America on this one, so I'm picking the Carolina Panthers on this one. I feel like this is going to be a real test for Sam Darnold. Why not have one against The Cowboys. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different because of defense and everything, but still picking the Panthers on this one.
Okay. I absolutely agree. This is going to be I guess there's been a lot of talk about uh, a Diggs brother, not the one that's over in Buffalo, but the one that plays for the Dallas Cowboys. There's been a lot of national talk about him being, one of the top corners in the league. So, hey, you're facing off against DJ Moore. A lot of people consider him to be, underrated, a pretty good receiver, possibly, top 10, maybe top 15, depending on who you talk to, maybe even higher. But that's going to be a good matchup, but definitely Sam Darnold. This is going to be a big game for you. No CMC. The offense is going to be ran through you. So let's see what you can do. Obviously, we've seen him with the Houston Texans, but that was kind of an adjustment, which he showed that, he was able to conduct and lead his team to victory against the Houston Texans last Thursday night. But I want to see what you do against America's team, as they say. And yeah, why not? So go Panthers. Trey, who do you have?
Well, you guys are already starting off wrong. I am actually taking the Dallas Cowboys. I know it's a shock. And don't get me wrong, I am still fully endorsing the Carolina Panthers, but this just ain't, I don't think this is going to be the one for them this week. Like you mentioned, Mr. Trayvon Diggs, NFC Defensive Player of the Month. So shout out to him. He's had a great start to the year. Second-year player. I think having a full, training camp and off season this year versus kind of a weird year for most rookies last year. I think that's definitely done him some good, and we're seeing what we're seeing. That's why you're hearing some of the hype. Also doesn't hurt because you got a star in your helmet. You get that extra media coverage and all that just by being a Cowboy. But yeah, CMC being out, I think that's going to be a big factor. And then my boy JC Horn, who I thought would have probably won Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think him being out on the defensive side with them receivers that Dallas got, I think that's going to be kind of a big test. So.
And also, you got to keep in mind, too, C.J. Henderson, the Jags traded him to the Panthers. Now, I can't say that he's going to be an X factor or he's going to be a big difference maker, but just something that you got to take into consideration. The Panthers did make a trade for him. He wasn't on.
Is he going to be up to speed already with how they play? Because you got to think, in most offenses, the plays don't necessarily change, but the calls and stuff change. So he just got there. So I don't know how big of a, X factor he's going to be for them.
Yeah. The only thing that I can say, defensively, it's a lot more easier to adjust and to play compared to the offensive side, just because obviously there's a lot of different components, with the routes that depending on the coverage, depends on how you got to break that route off and et cetera. Defense, you see them communicating, or at least trying to communicate. It is going to be in Dallas. So you also got to take into consideration that the crowd noise is not typically a problem for the defense when they're on the road. It's more so when they're off, their offense, which is Carolina's offense, is going to have to deal with the crowd noise. So communication between the safeties is going to be a big deal. I do expect him to play. How much he's going to play, not sure. But in terms of like the adjustment for a defensive player going on to a different team, it's a lot more smoother of a transition compared to an offensive player. Obviously, the terminology is something that he has to get used to. But usually, safety to DB, it's either cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, or whatever your responsibility is. That's why, you always see DBs communicating with their safeties or linebackers saying, this is what you got that, whatever the case is. So it's not that big of a deal, but it can be a problem. if players don't communicate properly. So yeah, but you can continue if you had any more.
Yeah. No. The only other thing though, the Panthers did get AJ Bouye back too. So I expect he might probably play more than CJ is gonna play this first game.
Okay.
But even still
Yeah.
though, I think Dallas does have one of the better receiving cores in the league, despite how much we, like to talk about the Cowgirls and all that. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So to the next game, we have we have the Cleveland Browns. They face off in Minnesota. 2-1 Cleveland versus the 1-2 Vikings. Spence, who you got?
Now this one's with everything in the news transpired. It's a little bit interesting. I'm still picking the Browns on this one. I just feel like I don't know. I just don't trust Minnesota's run defense, to be honest with you. Sure, Kurt has been doing a great game and everything, but it's that run defense that's just not going off. And once again, if you take the ball out of Baker's hands, everything will be fine. So as long as they do that, they should be fine. If not, well, we'll probably get another Kansas City thing again.
Okay. I actually am opposed to that. So I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings on this one. Dalvin Cook is expected to play. Obviously, this is Odell's second game back in the, from his injury. And I expect a full dose, and plus, obviously, full dose of Dalvin Cook. But at the same time, Kirk is playing pretty good right now. I can't really say that too much with Mayfield. He still got to show me something, but with this matchup, even though the Minnesota Vikings defense hasn't been playing good football or even decent football, I think they'll manage to get by on this one. So yeah, I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings at home.
Okay. I think you guys are, well, I think you're wrong again. I also went with the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Spence. You got to be able to, the whole reason or the whole way this Cleveland offense runs, it starts with the run first. So, like I said, the Vikings front seven is a little questionable when it comes to defending the run. So I think they would be better suited if they were able to stop Chubb. I think it'd be, make it a closer game. But if they're able to run the ball at will, which for the most part, I think they are going to be able to, that just opens up everything else for the Odells of the world. And they got two pretty good tight ends. They got some other, they're pretty loaded on the offense side of the ball. So, and then defensively, we just seen that wild man, Myles Garrett, what he did last week. So, and I mean, the Vikings O-line isn't the greatest either. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going Cleveland.
Okay. Next off, we have the 0-3 Detroit Lions versus the 1-2 Chicago Bears. Who do you got, fellas?
Detroit.
Spence,
Spence. Well, go ahead.
Where's Spence? My bad.
Well, I'm picking Chicago. If they, I'm just picking Chicago. Justin Fields third game. I know Detroit fans, y'all almost there. Y'all almost getting the wins. I just don't know if this one's gonna be it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do like some of the things that I've seen from the Detroit Lions, especially
Jamie Collins.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from them so far, but I just don't think this is it. And I believe Matt Nagy is going to put Justin Fields in a lot better position than what he did this past week. I don't know what happened that game. It looked, I mean, obviously we know Myles Garrett, but still, I thought they would put him in better situations, with protection, etc. But it didn't look like it. So hopefully they come out with a better game plan. They are the better team, um, especially defensively. So they should be able to win this game, but we'll see. Detroit, you have been surprising a lot of teams with your grit, how tough you've been hanging in there, at least whether it's to the halftime or throughout the end of the game, like they did with the Baltimore Ravens last week. So, Trey, who you got?
I'm actually going opposite again with you guys. Detroit gets their first win.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I like what I saw last week from them. Like you said, that grit, and I just think Fields kind of struggled that first game last week. I don't know how much better it's going to look this week. I think they should find a way to sneak out a win.
Okay.
I'm trusting Goff over Fields.
Okay.
This go round.
All right, so we got the Houston Texans at 1-2, facing off against the 2-1 Buffalo Bills. Spence, who do you got?
Do I really gotta say it?
Hey, fans want to know.
I got you for time. Sure. Buffalo. Houston, Texas is not full powered. It's not really equipped. You say Deshaun's out there? Sure. I may give it to Texans. Deshaun's not out there. Oh, then I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, so the Houston Texans are going to lose this game. So Buffalo Bills is my pick. I do expect Davis Mills to be competent. He will make this a game a little bit, probably to halftime, maybe. But they're not going to be able to run the ball too much on them. The Bills, which I think they're the second-ranked defense, if I recall correctly, but they're definitely top 5 last I checked. So Buffalo takes this one. Josh Allen, offense too much. Trey.
Okay, so we I think we finally agree on one. I don't think I've agreed with y'all all day. So but yeah, Buffalo definitely taking this one. I'm interested to see how Davis Mills looks this week. Yeah, it's going to be a tough task versus that defense. But yeah, like Spence said, no Deshaun Watson out there. Shit, not even no Tyrod. Yeah, take a Buffalo.
All right, now we got the 0-3 Indianapolis Colts versus the Miami Dolphins at 1-2. Spence. Tough one, right?
We know who you're picking. Stop playing games. Just do it.
I'm picking the Colts.
Okay.
Sadly, as much as the Colts has been struggling, I feel like our offense power can probably not stand that much. Of course, Jacoby Brissett probably want revenge against the Colts, but I feel like that's gonna be most of the downfall. If the Colts can't score in the end zone, then the Dolphins are going to win. But I'm still picking the Colts on this one, gentlemen.
Okay. So I'm just gonna have to stick with my original pick because the app won't let me change it. So picks are already saved. So I am going with the Miami Dolphins.
All right.
Yeah. Revenge tour.
Got it.
Go ahead and handle your business. All right. Do it for the 305. The Colts, they haven't looked anything like what
They
they
should
did
have.
last year. Obviously losing Quentin Nelson this past week. I believe he was placed on IR, which is maybe have been the short term. I'm not entirely sure on the details of that, but he was placed on IR. I don't think he's out for the season though, for sure. So yep, I am going with the Dolphins.
Okay. Not mad at that one because I agree with you, Vic. I am taking Miami this week. And not because my app won't let me change it, because I believe the Dolphins are gonna win this game. Yeah. For set, you can say revenge tour, but yeah, the Colts, like you said, they've been a big disappointment this season. And I know Miami's offense hasn't necessarily been what it could be, what it might be really soon if my sources are
Please.
Oh man, please.
but what we are forgetting about is that defense is still pretty damn good defense. I don't know by the rankings if we're still top 10. I know last year they were top 10 defense. I would have to look at the numbers as far as this season, but it's still pretty damn good defense. And it's Carson Wentz. He's leading the league in turnovers since dating back since last season. So he's definitely gonna give the Dolphins some opportunities to give Jacoby Brissett a short field and things of that nature. So
correct.
Yeah, I'm trusting that. And I mean, if you guys out there, for those of you who are sold on these Raiders, you just seen how the Dolphins, how well they played them. So if that's any indication, if the Raiders are quote unquote for real, then it should be no issue for them to go in here and handle the Colts.
We're 24th.
I still stand by what I said.
I got you.
It's Carson.
I got you. No, I got you. I'm just getting you numbers. That's it.
All right. So the next matchup we have is the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs versus the 1-2 Eagles. Apology, Mariano. Don't at me. Just come at me, bro. Spence.
I don't know him too well, but I'm sorry, Mariano. I'm picking the Chiefs. I'll be surprised if y'all. Well, y'all probably will score. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you that. But I'll be surprised if this is like I'll be surprised if y'all have to kick to win this game. Let me just say that.
Hey,
you keep Sunday.
Put it this way.
But
I guess I'm going out of order here. I don't have much to say about this game, honestly. Taking the Chiefs, and I actually just traded for Tyreek Hill, so this is the perfect week to plug him in. I feel like he's going to be able to give them some problems back there.
Wait, ain't this Josh game? Or that's next week? Does Josh Warren play this game or next week?
I don't know.
He was posting pictures of him practicing, so I'm assuming he's gonna be able to play. Regardless.
I mean, yeah, I thought like timing.
The Eagles defense isn't good enough to cover all of the weapons that they have. Whether it just Travis and Tyreek alone is gonna give them more than enough to worry about.
Yeah.
Not even talking or thinking about Josh Gordon yet. Like, they're gonna have their hands. Just pray. Just bite down.
Hey, Mariano, we've done this plenty of times. Look at me. All right. When you're watching this, if you watch this, just whenever the Eagles are playing, just don't watch. Just miss this Sunday, okay? We're doing you a favor. Yeah, there's no football this weekend for the Eagles. So stay tuned to every other game. KC got this. Bite down on that pillow, as Trey was alluding to. And yeah, have a great Sunday. Next game we have is the 0-3 Giants versus the 2-1 Saints. Spence.
Picking Saints on this one. Now, hear this. Now, even though I'm picking the Saints, do not be surprised as all of a sudden this game is a lot closer than people think. Because yeah, it's Daniel Jones throwing the ball, but also remember, it's also James throwing the ball. He's yes, yards, touchdowns, better at yes, but there's one thing there will always happen. There will be a pick somewhere. So I'm picking the Saints still.
All right. So the first 2 weeks were tough for us. We went against the Saints the first week. Second week, the Saints disappointed us against the Carolina Panthers. Third week, the Patriots definitely didn't show up like we thought they would. So we've been wrong against us about the Saints. Every time we picked them, they've disappointed. So this time, it's going to be different, all right? Saints will win this game. I'm not going with the Giants. I don't believe in the Giants. I do think there's a possibility that this game will be close. It just all depends on which Jameis shows up to this game. And this is the first time New Orleans will be playing in the Superdome this season. So I expect the fans to be jacked up and just a lot of energy in that building. It's going to be very emotional. And yeah, so I'm taking Saints winning this game. Trey, who do you got?
The G-Men will lose this game.
I was about to say.
I'm gonna say you actually believe in him now. Wow.
Yeah, no. It's not close. I'm honestly trying to figure out which team is worse, whether it's the Jets or the Giants. I'm having a hard time trying to decide for myself, but
I'm gonna say Jets.
I'm not 100% sold on that, but I mean,
see.
But yeah,
that's wise.
To me, is the quarterback play has been a lot better for the Giants more so than the Jets. So that's why I'm just gonna say the Giants. Defensively, they're probably maybe about even, but offensively, Daniel Jones hasn't been the reason I could say so far this year.
The bad part though is you can clearly see that the Giants have more talent than what the Jets have. I can say that too, and you can't tell. But nonetheless, I am taking the Giants.
All right. So next game we got is the Tennessee Titans at 2-1 versus the 0-3 Jets. I'm just gonna say the Jets. I mean, Titans. My bad.
Yeah, same. I'm not wasting much time on this one. Titans.
Yeah.
Adam Gase, what you taking?
I think he has faith in the Jets. Go ahead, Spence.
Oh, yeah. I need y'all to stop that. I'm picking the Titans.
All right. The next game we have is the 1-2 Washington football team versus the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons. Who you got, Spence?
I want it to be the 3. I do, but something in my body is like, Matt Ryan. Oh no, man. I'm picking the football team.
So,
but if I lose this one, I'll be fine. I'll be happy with that.
All right, so
I'm taking you got 2 left.
I'm taking the Washington football team as well.
I mean, you have to until you get to 12.
And yeah, go ahead, Trey.
Okay, we're all in agreement again. We were just in agreement too with the Titans and the Saints. But anyways, I'm taking Washington. But something in the pit of my stomach. Atlanta, they lose games they not post. They win games they not supposed to, and then they lose game they not supposed to. Like I just I don't understand them. They don't make. There's no way to really judge them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm taking Washington. But you know what surprised me the other way, and for your
I wouldn't be mad.
Hope Yeah, hope not, Mr. 12-5 Washington football team.
Because right now, if you lose this game, you're 1-3. That means you got 2 more left to get to 5.
Which means they gotta go on a run.
11 straight?
Anything is possible.
All right, KG.
So next game we got is the undefeated battle of the NFC West, undefeated 3-0 Cardinals versus the undefeated Los Angeles Rams. Spence, who do you got?
I'll probably be the lone wolf on this one, and that's perfectly fine with me. But I'm picking the Los Angeles Rams on this one.
Well, you're probably not going to be the lone wolf because I am actually not picking the Los Angeles Rams. I'm picking the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go Cards. Trey.
Well, looks like Vick is the lone wolf because I'm picking the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
All right. So I'm the lone wolf on that one. We got the Seahawks at 1-2 versus the 2-1 49ers. Spence.
San Fran. 2 words. Nick Bosa. I feel like Seahawks, even though Russell Wilson's probably gonna have to win it mostly because most of the players that he has is out or an IR kind of thing. But one thing I don't believe in still is that line. I still don't believe it.
I got the 49ers in this one. Yeah, that's crazy. Russell Wilson will be going on a 3-game losing streak, first time in his career. In my opinion, I just believe that the 49ers are going to be able to get to Russ, and yeah, they're going to run that clock out. Seahawks defense has been bad. So yeah, 49ers is my pick. Trey, who do you got?
It might be misguided, but I still have faith in Russ. I am taking the Seahawks. If they lose this one, though, I probably am going to stop picking them. But I'm putting my trust in Russell Wilson this week to find a way. It could be by 3. I don't care. But I just feel like they'll be able to find a way to squeeze this one out. Now, again, I could be totally wrong, and then I'll have to take off the mask of how I look at Seattle, as the type of team I look at Seattle as, and start just looking at them as what they are, which will be at that time 1-3, if that's the case. But for now, I'm taking Seattle. Still got faith.
Okay. Next game we have is the Baltimore Ravens at 2-1 versus the undefeated Denver Broncos at 3-0. Who do you got, Spence?
I want to say the Broncos just to see it, but it won't. I'm picking the Ravens.
All right. I also got the Baltimore Ravens. I need to see more from Teddy Bridgewater. Make me a believer, Teddy, because I obviously was in favor of Drew Lock being a starting quarterback, and you have been doing a good job, but I think Drew Lock is going to be the one that's going to put the Broncos on another level. I stepped up his game, but regardless, no Bradley Chubb. They do have Nick Chubb. They do have Von Miller, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, they got Von Miller, so he's definitely very, obviously we know he's an impact player. So yeah, got the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, not only is he an impact player, he was actually the AFC Defensive Player of the Month. So Von Miller is definitely back on track, picking up where he left off 2 years ago because he was hurt last year. So we saw what the Lions were able to do to the Ravens, just about, besides a 66-yard kick winning them the game. I am taking the Denver Broncos to lose this game. Taking Baltimore.
All right. So next game we have is the 1-2 Steelers versus the 2-1 Green Bay Packers.
Packers.
All right. You got the 2-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 1-2 Patriots. Spence.
I'm gonna pick the Bucks, but do not be surprised if Belichick has a plan. He's been waiting for this day. This man has a schematic ready. Because
Yeah,
as much as he had him for a quarterback, you don't think he knows his weaknesses?
I also have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this game. Yeah, I believe this is going to be a close game, but I have the Bucks winning by 10. Trey.
Bucks.
All right. Last game we have is the Las Vegas Raiders at 3-0 versus the 2-1 Los Angeles Chargers. Spence.
Here we go. I'm picking the Chargers.
I am also going with her Breezy. They're going to, I wouldn't say exactly expose, but they're definitely going to show up and let the Las Vegas Raiders know that they run the AFC West.
They are who we thought they were. That's what I'm gonna come in here and tell y'all on Tuesday. I'm taking the Chargers. So Raiders fans, it's been cool. Y'all
friends for a minute.
Yeah. 3-0 hot start, but that is dead now. Herbeezy about to handle that. But look, you probably don't agree with that, Raiders fans. And for everybody else, you heard what we had to say. You can agree, you can disagree, but at the end of the day, all takes are valid. All right, boys.